What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight to do another lake breakdown overview. This time we're actually going to go out to Alabama and take a look at Logan Martin Lake. Now this one is a giant lake, so we've got two different videos that we're going to do here. We're going to focus on the north section today, and then we'll come back in our next video and look at the south section for Logan Martin, because really I mean, from a video standpoint, it's like 2 or 3 different videos, so it's craziness. We're going to try to cover it all. But here we are. We're out here on the Outdoor Alabama page, and you can see some of the lake characteristics are kind of shared with us here. This one's pretty good. Logan Martin Reservoir is located in east central Alabama on the Coosa River, approximately 30 miles east of Birmingham. The lake borders St. Clair and Talladega counties. The reservoir extends 48.5 miles from the dam upstream to Neely Henry Dam and contains 15,263 acres. So hopefully by saying that, you understand why we had to break this down into 2 sections. The graphs can't handle that many waypoints when you get that big of a lake on there. Next up, we got largemouth bass and spotted bass are the main draw for the anglers. Largemouth bass growth has been excellent. Largemouth bass are abundant and well represented in 12 to 18 inch range. Spotted bass are also abundant with many spots in the 14 to 21 inch range, representing some of the best values in the state. It says, in fact, the spotted bass numbers in the 17 to 20 inch range equaled the highest value ever recorded from the lake. Spotted bass growth has been good to excellent, and their condition is outstanding. If you've never gone out on a lake where they've got spotted bass are tons of fun to catch. They're a lot easier to catch. They're very aggressive. They're very bait oriented. They're just tons and tons of fun to catch. So that's a little bit about Logan Martin Lake. Now let's switch over. We're going to jump into Google Earth, and we're going to take a look at this lake breakdown and see what we got for you guys. Okay, so I've switched over here now, and I'm on Google Earth, and I want to show you guys how we have this breakdown, show you some cool stuff on this lake. It is a giant lake, right? It starts down here and goes all the way up to Neely Henry. You can see the river system that takes you all the way up there, and then you finally get up there to the lake. So anyways, that is the lake. Let's take a look at it. I'll show you guys a full breakdown here of everything. This is the entire lake that we've broken down. My internet is taking a minute because it's so big. So here we go. This is the entire lake. So what we're going to do is we're going to split it up, and we're going to look at the north section, or what I call the north section. I just made up this section, so it's not like some local thing that says this is the north section. But basically, after this bend, anything north of that bend is going to be what we consider the north section, plus this little area in here. So you can see lots of different stuff that we marked. When the water goes down, obviously we can mark a lot more stuff. So let's just go through and let's talk about just the breakdown in general, and then we'll go and we'll look at maybe a couple different little areas. So first off, let's start with attractors. Not a ton of fish attractors on this lake. In fact, these are the only 3 that I was able to find from the Alabama Power Authority, or well, I can't remember. I probably screwed that up, but you know who I'm talking about. But it was the only ones that I was able to find fish attractors for on this lake, and just these 3. So we got these 3 here. You got a couple right up here, just left of the bend. And then you've got another one right down here just south of that bend as well, by the Phoenix Point. So if you're looking for fish attractors, that's what you got for Logan Martin. Next, let's talk about bridges and culverts and roads, anything that we were able to find. We only got a few here in this section, in this northern section, and that's going to be right up here. Now, when we do switch off to the contour mapping, we'll be able to see culverts and things like that as well. So that will definitely help us out, because that'll give us an idea of where the roads are and things like that. But you can see here, there's some pretty good remnants of these road beds that are still here, and I'm sure there's some rock and some hard spots and things like that to fish around when you get around those road beds. So those are our road beds. Now let's take a look at channels and ditches. So on the channels and ditches, again, what we do is we draw the water down. Now this image is from 2025, so I don't know how far the water's down in this image. Looks like it's down quite a bit, but we line all of those channels the best that we can. If we can see the channel, we line up that channel and put that track on there for you. That way, when you're out there fishing, you know exactly where you are on that channel. And also, if you're out here and say you're fishing this lake for the first time, and you guys have heard me say this a lot if you ever watch any of the lake breakdown videos I do, I look for that incoming water, right? I look for those channels, and as long as I can see the channels are coming in, that tells me I want to go back and fish those areas, especially if I'm fishing the backs of coves and pockets. I'm only going to fish the ones that have water coming into them or have river channels or creek systems coming into them. I'm probably missing stuff, but I'm fishing for high percentage stuff because I'm maybe not spending a ton of time on each lake. So in that instance, I want to just go to the higher percentage areas. That's going to be where all these creek channels are. Those up there, you got some down here by this fish attractor look really good. A couple over in here off of this little bend. Some more back here by the Poorhouse Branch Marina. Got a pretty good creek coming in there. Got a nice little river or creek that's coming in from back here as well. Some really good bends right here on that bend. You know, that's probably a juicy spot right there. And then it also swings right against this little hump too. So, and there's a ditch there. So all kinds of good stuff going on there. All right, let's take a look at this. We're gonna do cover and structure now. So now on cover and structure, this is gonna be all your debris, your laydown, your brush piles, anything like that that we were able to find. But there are some key spots in here that I wanted to show you. One is going to be these hard spots. There's only a couple of them that we were able to really find. One of them is right here off of where this roadbed is. So apparently this spot, for whatever reason, when I'm breaking down the lake, this spot keeps coming up over and over again. So let's see. I don't know if we can do this or not because I didn't test this before I came out here, but let's just see if we can get an image where that actually shows that hard spot for us, because something triggered us to put that as a hard spot. I think you can kind of tell there, you can kind of tell in that image that there's a little bit of rock or something going on out there on that outside edge. So maybe it's some shell or something like that, but something triggered us there. You've also got some more up here. You got a hard spot that's right out here off the edge of this little point here. So definitely take a look at that. I think those are the two main hard spots I saw. Now you've got all kinds of debris that's up in here. You've got laydowns. You can see all this debris here. You got some brush that's back in here. Good debris back in here, like this little saddle. These saddles can be really good places, especially when the water's up, to find fish. And then also, if you're back here, since we're talking about this little channel right here, finding them on the outside edges or even in the middle of that little thing. Anywhere you can find those pinch points, right? That's almost like a pond dam right there. Could have even possibly been a pond dam maybe a long, long time ago. We got more debris that's back here and you could fish around. So you crappie fishermen, we got plenty of debris and laydowns marked. These drains can be sneaky places, right? Not much going on along this whole bank line, but then all of a sudden you find a drain that's right here and all the fish are attracted to it because that's where all the oxygen is coming in that area. So take a look at those. But again, lots of good stuff here to go look at as we move on up. You can see we've got, again, lots of debris, ditches, lots of debris by these docks. So if you're crappie fisherman or if you just like to dock fish, there's a lot of debris and laydowns and things like that that we found throughout that are down by these docks. You can see them all, debris. So some pretty good stuff there. I'll zoom back out. We'll kind of go up here a little bit further. We're going to go up here to I-20 and then we kind of stop after we get to I-20 because it really turns into more of just a river system up here. But some couple other points I want to point out here are these ponds. There's not a bunch of them, but there's a couple of them, and there's one right up here. There's one right here. So this pond right here, these pond dams and these pond openings, like the opening where the pond is, those can be excellent places to fish. I mean, I'm talking excellent places to fish. So definitely check those out. Anywhere you see the ponds, you're going to want to go check out those ponds. And then also, I talked about it a minute ago, but those saddles can be secret places as well. So it's basically like the low spot between the island and the land. Anytime you find those, you want to check those out for sure. And then obviously, we're going to talk about it in a minute when we get to the rock, but when we get to those rock areas, we're going to really want to hit those hard. Here's another pond that's back here. I don't even know if this is accessible. Almost couldn't spit that out. But if that ever becomes accessible, you need to go back there and fish it because look how clear it is compared to everything else that's here. I saw another spot a minute ago that looked like a really clear spot. It might have been right in here. One of these looked way clearer than the other one. And if you can find that clear water, sometimes that can be good and sometimes it can be bad. But if you can find a way to get in that pond, that'd be cool to go back there and then tell me how you did. Tell me if you caught anything. All right, let's keep moving on. Now we're going to move over. The next thing we have on our list is actually offshore spots. And there's a ton of these. And if I double click this, it's going to change the date and bring it to a current date. But these are all the offshore spots that we have out here in this region. Now, I'm not going to focus on them right here because if we look at them right here, it kind of just looks like I've just marked these random spots out in the middle of the water. But we're going to switch over and using the Simplistic Fishing Mobile App and the Navionics contours, we're going to take a look at that from a contour perspective, it's going to make a lot more sense. So we'll take off the offshore for now. Let's take a look at ramps and slabs. There's a ton. All right. This is a tough one because there's so many of them. And normally I would say it's a great pattern to run. Running the ramps and the slabs can be great patterns to run during certain times of the year. And I've had a lot of success on them. There's a ton of them here. So I don't know if they would be as good on this lake because there are so many, but it's concrete, it's a hard spot, and fish are attracted to it. So when they're shallow and you get around these ramps and slabs, especially these little homemade, personal slabs, kind of stuff like this, these are good areas to fish around. There's rock there. There's all kinds of good stuff. There's that concrete will get all kinds of, not bacteria, but it'll get like growth on it and stuff like that. And that will attract the really small, like micro fish. And then that'll attract the bait fish. And then of course, if you get the bait fish there, then it's game on. The bass are close by, the crappie are close by, all that good stuff. So you can see we've got lots and lots and lots of slabs and ramps marked throughout this lake. And then last but not least, we've got rock. So I'm going to take off all these other ones so we can see this. Obviously, there's quite a bit of rock on this lake, but what we try to do is really mark the key areas where the rock was, right? So on these swings, up against docks. As we move here, you can see this is a really good area right here. You got some really good rock here right before the swing, right? So it's shallow, but it could still be a really good place. I don't see too much of this rock really sticking out too far, but this is a lot of the shallow rocky areas. This right here would be where I'd probably hit first because I like this kind of a little bit offshore. I don't like getting too far offshore, but a little bit offshore. Finding this rock out here, this hard spot that could possibly be shell that's there as well, that could be a really, really good spot to look at. So let me back up, show you guys where that's at. There's I-20, so it's going to be right there. It's going to be a money spot for sure. Probably community hole, probably, because I'm not the first one that's going to look at a map and say that. But I'm just going to kind of scroll down and kind of show you guys where all this rock is. It's kind of just scattered throughout the lake. I like these points right here. You got this bend coming here, so you got these rocky areas. I like those. I like the shallow rock too, but I do like anytime you get a point and you get a good rocky spot off that point, like down here, this looks like it could be really juicy. So that is all the rock, and that was actually all of the waypoints that we did for the north side. So you can see the whole north side here. I'm going to select them all again so you can see them all together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to Simplistic Fishing Mobile App, and we're going to take a look at those offshore hotspots. Just take a look at a few of them, kind of show you how we have it broke down, and then we'll wrap up the video. Let's roll. Here we are out on the Simplistic Fishing Mobile App now. We're going to take a look at all the different offshore spots that we had marked in that northern region. So unfortunately on the mobile app, I just have it all together, right? I can load all the waypoints into mine. I don't have any issue, unlike the graph. So we're only going to focus on that north section. It started right here at this bend and went north. And I just want to show you guys a couple different spots. So let's start in this little section over here off to the west. We got some pretty good stuff over here. And again, this lake had so many offshore spots, I don't think it was possible for me to mark every single one of them. So even as I'm sitting here looking at this, I see some spots that I could have marked as well. So try to just look at these offshore spots and find things similar to it. So if you're out here looking, you say, oh, I see where he marked a hump here, or I see where the contour comes up and gets flat there and he's marked that. Well, there's a reason, because those are hot spots. And so if you see something similar to that that's not marked, still go check it out. That's how you find new spots. So let's talk about these first off. Let's go down here. We've got some little humps that are down here, right? I don't know what's going on down here, but these aren't too big. They're, 15 foot, not too bad. You got another hump that's over here. This one looks pretty good too. And then if we get around this island, we got some really good areas here. We've got this point here on the south. It looks really good. You've got that little saddle there, and if you look from the saddle, there's actually like a little pond there, or something like that. So that could be really good too. And then the point that comes off the south end of that point, that looks good too, right? Nice flat top, breaking off down into that saddle, into that pond dam. And then looking over to the left, that little point that sticks out there looks like it could be juicy as well. We've got a lot of those throughout the lake, right? You can see them all throughout here. Some really good humps that come out, some points that come out. This is the spot I was telling you about that I feel like I probably should have marked, and that's going to be right there in that center. That looks like that could be a really juicy spot. I don't know how I missed that one, but again, You know, can't mark them all, so I tried to do my best. And then out here, we get some pretty good looking stuff out here, right? You kind of tear it down. So you can see where the channel is on that very top one. And then you get to the second one, we kind of get off to more of a point here and that has a little flat top. And then you get to another ridge that comes up. So really good looking spot there too. And the reason why I like that spot is obviously because of that river channel swing. And then as that river channel is swinging, anytime you get to these points that touch the river channel swing, that's a great spot or a high percentage spot to fish. So you've got two that are here. As we scroll up, we've got another one that's right there. We got a really good juicy point right here on the left-hand side. It's got that nice point on it right there. You can see, I really like that one. Let's go ahead and click that, give you guys a little bit of coordinates. I keep forgetting to give you guys those. Up here, away from that one, and over here more towards this island, that island has a nice point that comes off of it. And that spot right there where it says offshore, that one looks like could have some pretty good potential as well. Even these points down here, you get off to the left of this island, look at that nice little break that's right there. So really good little drop for them, right? It goes, one part of it's 4 foot and then not very far away from it's almost 30 foot of water. So you've got something going on there, some kind of ledge, probably some rock or something like that there as well. And then we get out here more towards the river channel and you can see again, just marking the spots that really connect in or get close to that river channel. This point's really close to that river channel, right? I could see that being a really good feeding point. So something you can go out through top waters on and stuff like that. As we move further up, we're kind of looking at the same thing. There is some stuff that's a little further out here. And this spot right here, I like it. I would love to go out, or I'd love for you guys to give me some feedback and tell me, you know, do you have some success out here, especially with the spots? But there's a little spot out here. Oh, I don't even know if this is it. This is it. This is it. Where the river kind of splits. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of people will fish the back end of this, but if you fish the front end of it, a lot of times that's good as well. So either side can be good, but this spot right here that I've marked right here, I would like to know if that's a good spot or not, because to me, you've got current going on both sides. You got a nice little high spot that's out there. It's got to be a good place to fish. And if that's not a good place to fish, maybe over here to the left, where the river channel swings a little bit more, you've got a little bit of a hump out here. If I zoom in here, I can't tell the top of it, but I think it's like 10 foot probably, 15, 10 foot, somewhere in there. So that looks like it could have some juice to it as well. And then you can move up here and fish this little point. If you look at this point, it's got a pretty good ledge as well, right? It's 15 foot right there at the edge of that ledge, and then to 25. So you've got a 10-foot drop that's going on right there on the edge of that point. Kind of moving up, show you a few more spots here. Again, really focused on that river channel swing, right? Here's another one of those little splits that's out here, getting out on the edge of it and taking a look at it. Or over here on the left-hand side, you've got a nice ledge that's right there too that you could go check out. All kinds of juicy stuff. Let's look at one more, this little point right here. This one looks good. We'll click on that one, give you guys a little coordinates as well, but that one looks awesome, right? Really long, extended point. It's close to what looks like maybe you've got two rivers kind of connecting here, and it's really close to that one on the right. So that one looks like it could be really, really juicy. And then of course you can go up, there's your fish attractors we talked about earlier, and then going on up on the bend. Let's make this one, these two our last ones. These last two little points right here, love them. Why do we love them? Because the creek channel or the river channel swings up against them. So hopefully you guys got the point of the video as far as the offshore stuff. Is you focus on those channels and they will lead you to fish for sure. If you guys haven't already, go check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. We've got Logan Martin out there for you on SD cards. You can take the SD card, import it into your graph. We support all the graphs that are on the market today, or we can email you the files and you can put it on your own SD card and import it into your graph that way. And then last but not least, if you want to take it to a whole nother level, go out to Logan Martin, be able to come in here and be able to look at contours, be able to look at satellite imaging, be able to come in here and filter waypoints by anything that you want. If you want to do all that stuff, you got to have the app, so go check it out. Simplistic Fishing, it's on the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.